Hello everyone, my name is Mandi Lynn. I'm the author of the fantasy novels Essence and I Am Mercy and thriller novel She's Not Here, as well as the creator of AuthorTube Academy. And today's video is a special video because I'm talking about the lessons I've learned publishing multiple books, and it is a collab video with Nour Zikra. I apologize if I said your last name wrong. So yes, this is a collab video with Nour. Nour is awesome. I've been watching her YouTube videos. I've kind of sort of been binge watching them because they are hilarious. She throws comedy in there. You should go check her channel out. But you should also check her collab video out because she's talking about what she's learning so far publishing her second novel. And I'm going to be talking about what I've already learned publishing my second and third novel. So let's start by talking about what I learned publishing book 2, which is I Am Mercy. So I published book 2 when I was in college. Book 1, Essence, right here, I published my junior/senior year of high school because it was summer. The summer before senior year. Anywho, I published this, I want to say my freshman or sophomore year of college, and it was a very different experience. One, because I was in college, my time was stretched way thin, so things didn't happen as fast as they would have with book 1. As you can see, there was about a 3-year gap before this book was published, and that's how long it took me to write and actually publish it, which I felt like it was a long time for a second book, because you would think on book 2 that you would kind of know what you're doing, and you don't, because every book you will write gets harder to write because you're challenging yourself as a writer. So I'd like to think as each book comes along, it progresses in its quality of writing. And same goes for the publishing process. You would think that with the second book, I would kind of sort of know what I'm doing when it comes to publishing. Turns out I really didn't. I had just as much of a clue from book 1 to book 2. You guys think I make these YouTube videos for you? All the how-to videos are for me, especially the how to self-publish a book YouTube videos. Like when it came to formatting I Am Mercy, I actually rewatched my formatting video because I forgot how to do it. And you'd think by book 2, you kind of got your stuff figured out, so you're not gonna make mistakes in terms of like what to do and what not to do when publishing. You still make those mistakes. You usually don't make the same mistakes, but you make different mistakes. I can't remember what my exact mistakes were for I Am Mercy, but I remember there being moments where I was like, ugh. And I can tell you there were a lot of them with She's Not Here. There were a lot of whoopsies that I had to fix with She's Not Here. Another thing I learned was that just because book 1 does well doesn't mean book 2 will do well as well. And by that I mean you still have to market the book. Like just because book 1 sold really great and you did a good job and you got a whole bunch of reviews doesn't mean that's just gonna happen naturally with book 2. I also blame this on college. Because I was in college, I didn't focus on the marketing aspect. I was like, I'm just gonna publish it. I've already got a platform, that's all I need to do. That's not how things work. You still need to market the heck out of a book. It doesn't matter if it's your first book, your second book, or your like 15th book. You still need to market it, otherwise people aren't gonna read it. That was my biggest mistake with I Am Mercy because of college and all that craziness. I was just like, I'm just gonna publish the book. I'm not gonna put all this effort into the marketing because everything went so well with Essence that I was like, it'll just go the same with I Am Mercy. That did not happen. So yeah, it annoys me because I love this book. This book is like my baby, and I'll say that about probably every book. But I don't know what it is about this story. It's just, I wrote it very quickly because it just poured out of me. I didn't have to fight this book to write it. Like, it wrote itself, and it's my longest book. The writing went so well that I'm just like, I'm just gonna publish it, and I published it, and there were some crickets. Because I was busy in college and I didn't think I need to market this book. I just published it. So don't make that mistake. Alright, let's talk about book 3, She's Not Here, my psychological thriller. there were many, many lessons I learned with this book, and maybe I'll make a full video about it one day, because some of it wasn't like, it's too long for a video like this. It needs its own personal video. Everything that I learned with book 2, I relearned with book 3. I learned that yes, I still need to market. Yes, I still need to watch my own tutorial videos because I still don't know how to format a book by myself. But by the end of She's Not Here, I can say that I do know how to format a book very well. Like the paperback, I know how to do all the fancy, let's see if I can find it, all the fancy chapter headers with like the headers here and no headers over here and page numbers and stuff like that. Because if you have an original copy of Essence and I Am Mercy, the copies where the covers are slightly uglier, I don't have them with me in front of me right now. But if you have the first editions of Essence and I Am Mercy, you will notice there's no names at the top. There's no title with She's Not Here, and my name isn't there because I didn't know how to do it. So I'm very proud. I finally learned how to do that, mostly because I screwed up a lot with this book where I accidentally deleted the formatted manuscript and I had to reformat the manuscript all over again. So that's how you learn how to format a manuscript. You do it twice in the span of a week. The biggest thing I learned with this book was that I had to market very differently. So my first 2 books, Essence and I Am Mercy, are young adult fantasy. This is an adult psychological thriller. My demographic does not exist on YouTube, and YouTube is my main marketing platform. Did some of my YouTube followers buy the book? Yes, of course they did. I know they did because they told me and I saw results in the book sales. Is that my main demographic? No. My demographic, which tends to be like adults in their I want to say like 25 and up, is usually the typical demographic for psychological thrillers. And of course there are people that read it when they're younger or a lot older and stuff like that. But for the most part, my demographic did not exist on YouTube. A lot of the people, a lot of readers that are on YouTube watching videos read young adult, and this is not a young adult book, and I made that very clear, or I would like to think I made that very clear. So my audience, which I would like to think is somewhat large, didn't necessarily want to buy this book, so I had to get creative. And you know, I talk so much about building your author platform, but I've built this author platform that is not for this genre. So I always say you write the story you want to tell, so I had to sit back and tell myself, I know this book isn't going to sell as well as my others, but this book, I really love this story and I want to publish it anyways. So I took a huge risk, because sometimes you can even lose your audience when you write outside your genre so much. But I'm like, I'm gonna practice what I preach. I say to write the story you want to tell, so I'm just gonna write it and I'm gonna publish it and we're gonna see what happens. Believe it or not, I actually learned a ton in terms of marketing with She's Not Here. I learned a lot of like traditional marketing methods, whether that be paid ads or other things. I also learned the market is so flooded with thriller novels that paid marketing is actually very hard to pull off, because you have to pay a lot to get your book noticed in the thriller genre, and it's usually not worth it. You can usually break even, but you don't really make money, so it's And I did learn, however, that my market does kind of sort of exist on Instagram. There are people who read psychological thrillers on Instagram in a decent amount, which I'm very happy about, because otherwise the only real place to go would be Facebook. That's where that age demographic is for this genre. And unfortunately Facebook makes it so you have to pay to really get your posts noticed, which I really don't like to do. So I like Instagram because Instagram is a little bit more forgiving in terms of reaching your audience. So yes, to sum things all up, I basically want to say that you're never gonna stop learning. You're always just gonna keep learning and making mistakes and having successes and different things like that. So be sure to go into the publishing knowing that things are gonna go wrong. That way when they go wrong, they don't completely blindside you. I always like to say, especially when you're timing stuff, if you're self-published, if you're trying to make a timeline of stuff, give yourself like an extra month of cushion time. So if things go wrong, you have that time to make stuff up. I did not do that for She's Not Here, and things did go wrong, and I stressed out completely about it because I didn't have the time to fix it. So yeah, that's what I learned. Be sure to check out Nour's videos, see what she's learning as she's going to publish her second novel. Let me know if you've published a book and anything like that, what you've learned on the publishing journey and what you've experienced and different things like that. If you'd like to stay up to date with everything I'm doing with my author career and my publishing house, be sure to subscribe to my newsletter. When you subscribe, you get free downloads and access to my author platform webinar. Otherwise, that is it for today's video. Be sure to give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and subscribe. Thank you for watching.